Hello dear all, we discuss Keynes observations number 4 to 6. So 4th, 5th and 6th. These are discussed by Dr. Keynes under the title of Prognosis after observing the action of remedy. So we go further. Just have a look at what do you mean by language of organon. So concept of disease by Dr. Kent. What he wants to tell us that no visible pathology appears without internal disturbance of vital force. So there are first invisible changes of disease and they progress over a period of time to the visible organ pathology. Abnormal mental generals and physical generals are the invisible changes of disease. So what we are discussing now, say on the left hand side of the arrow, abnormal mental generals and physical generals, and see the second point left hand side arrow, they are the invisible changes of disease. Now what is there on the right side of the arrow? Point number second, visible organ pathology, and point number third is the physical particulars. So it is nothing but evolution of disease, that first there are abnormal mental generals and physical generals and they give rise to physical particulars. Disease is not pathology which is visible to the eyes. Disease is prior to the pathology, and this prior means nothing but the mental generals and physical generals, the abnormal symptoms in mind and body over a period of time develop into visible organ pathology, and they are nothing but the physical particular symptoms or pathological symptoms. So just have a view at concept of disease by Kent. So the difference between evaluation of disease and evolution of disease. Disease is measured as or assessed as functional or structural. It is assessed as reversible or irreversible. Disease is curable or incurable. So first the left hand side is the disease is functional, reversible, curable, and the right hand side will show you structural disease which is irreversible and incurable. The next point, presence of characteristic symptoms or common symptoms. So in the left hand side what we see, that disease is functional, then it is reversible and curable, and there are presence of characteristic symptoms in the case, and this indicates high susceptibility. So whereas right side what it shows, the disease is structural, irreversible, incurable, and in such diseases there are more common symptoms seen and it indicates low susceptibility. Now what is evolution of disease? Evolution of disease means the disease for at first initiated as invisible pathology in the form of abnormal sensations at the level of mind and abnormal functions at the level of body. This gave rise further to the abnormal structures in the form of physical particulars. So, mental generals and physical generals were the first affected and they were the invisible in nature. This gives rise to physical particular symptoms. So invisible symptoms were mental generals and physical generals. They gives rise to visible symptoms, that is physical particular and they represent the pathology in the case. And now we are going to discuss these observations under the title of statement, pathology, remedy, potency, mistake of physician if any, effect of the remedy administered, what action needs to be or required to be taken, and what is the final prognosis of the case. So fourth observation, very easy to understand. No aggravation whatever or no aggravation with recovery of patient. So pathology here is functional and there are only superficial changes in the organs. So in functional pathology, you will get such type of observation, that is no aggravation whatever or no aggravation with recovery of patient. It means what? Pathology is reversible, superficial, disease is functional and curable. Remedy administered is a similimum, the potency is correct and there is no any mistake of the physician. Effect is seen on the patient is that patient is relieved of his sufferings. Action, stop the remedy, give placebo. Why give placebo? Because it's a Robert's rule. As soon as there is amelioration, stop further repetition of the remedy. As soon as there is amelioration, stop further repetition of the remedy. Prognosis is favorable and this is interpreted as ideal cure. So all these points of this observation needs to be again and again learned properly. Very easy observation, that no aggravation, so patient is recovering, disease is functional, correct remedy, correct potency, and what is should be done, that stop the further stimulation by the remedy. Prognosis is favorable. So see what is fifth observation, the amelioration comes first and aggravation comes afterwards. So pathology is in this case severe cases or diseases like asthma or psoriasis having remissions. So pathology will be of two types, that there are severe incurable cases or some diseases which are curable actually by homeopathy like asthma and psoriasis, they have in their course remissions. Means what? Asthma can be better for few months. Psoriasis can remain ameliorated for few months. So physician should take care that before labeling that I have cured psoriasis or asthma, he should be taking exact precautions, that is it the remission period of the disease or patient is really is getting cured and there are no further morbid symptoms in such diseases. So what is the remedy? So remedy is similimum. Remedy was not deep acting, superficially it was given and it was not constitutional in curable cases. So first condition, that when this is a curable case and remedy is not given deep acting, then patient may get amelioration followed by aggravation. So case is curable and superficially remedy is given which brought relief at first, but the disease then progressed and led to the aggravation. So potency was right but may not be sufficient to reach the pathology of the case if the case is curable. So we have to divide this into two types. First is what? Severe cases, where there are advanced cases. So in advanced cases, the physician has to administer a deep acting remedy, but in low potency, So in advanced cases which are very much having the pathology, and if you are administering a superficial remedy, then the patient will be relieved at first, followed by aggravation. So in the cases which are curable, superficial remedy is given which at first brought relief, but later there was aggravation. So potency, it was right, but not sufficient to reach the pathology, and this in the case where it is curable. What is the mistake? In the curable cases, physician did not give a deep acting constitutional remedy. He just administered a superficial remedy. What is the effect? Patient was ameliorated for a short period, but after some time his sufferings increased afterwards. It indicates disease is progressing. And what is the action to be taken by physician? He should re-examine the case, give constitutional remedy in curable cases. So give a deep acting remedy in these curable cases. Be sure patient is not handling any chemicals or not taking alcohol which may spoil the action of remedy. If it is the case and case is curable, then correct this error that patient might be handling few things like camphor, onion, perfumes which may hamper the action of the remedy. So prognosis is unfavorable in the incurable cases. So advanced cases or incurable cases, if physician just gives superficial remedy, then the patient is at first relieved, but then there is an aggravation. Let's see the other condition in this mentioned. Dr. Kent also mentioned other condition, that is if disease is curable and if physician has administered a superficial medicine. This we already seen. Let's see further points. Then here patient is relieved of the suffering, but symptoms may return again. So what is to be done? Give deep acting remedy. Give anti-miasmatic remedy. So give a deep acting remedy and anti-miasmatic remedy. And second condition is mentioned, if disease is incurable, physician gives remedy and palliation is done. As disease is incurable, patient is better at first, there is amelioration, but as the disease progresses further, it is incurable case and there is aggravation of symptoms. Okay, so fifth observation, if the disease is curable and if the disease is incurable. So if the disease is curable, then patient is relieved of his sufferings, but symptoms return if given superficial remedy. So you should always give a deep acting remedy. And if the disease is incurable, physician gives remedy, palliation is done, and at first there is certain relief, but as the disease progresses, there is an aggravation which is noted. So we go to the next. Sixth observation is too short relief of symptoms. So here what do you understand by this observation is the in which cases you will get this, where the pathology is functional or superficial changes in the organs. Remedy is similimum. So right remedy, correct potency. Potency is also right. Now what is a mistake? That no mistake of physician but of the patient who is interfering the action of remedy by handling the certain things which interfere the action of remedy. So, patient is by mistake handling certain things of very strong odors, and this may interfere with the action of remedy. What is the effect seen? Patient is ameliorated for short period, and the advice to the patient to avoid handling of chemicals and perfumes to be made. Prognosis is unfavorable as obstacles to cure. So this was a short discussion on the Keynes observation 4 to 6. So sixth observation, physician has confirmed that why the patient is showing such a amelioration for very short time. It is only because that patient may be handling the strong odors things such as perfumes, camphor, or any other strong smelling substance. Okay, so this causes amelioration to last for a short time. Okay, so we stop here. Thank you.